Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO. Free, impartial advice on all your debt. This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV in association.
My G!
What are you doing?
My G!
You're surprisingly upbeat.
Yeah, I feel good actually. Had a good day. Had a very productive day today.
Now you're out of your isolation period. Done a bit of weight and all, haven't you?
Done a stone, geezer. Done a stone. This was the best thing to happen to me about COVID. Because basically, because I was locked in a room, I couldn't get to the fridge or the larder. And my big problem is at night. I don't know if you have the same problem, but
yes,
like after your dinner and like when the kids have gone to bed, what else do you do other than watch TV and eat? So I was just having breakfast, lunch and dinner and nothing in the middle. And over 2 weeks, I've done a stone and I've like worked out once.
So you've basically done like a 10-day fat camp.
Pretty much. And it's unbelievable. Like literally what's happened as well is, you know, you can now literally see all the abs. It's unbelievable.
Have a look.
It's this top stuck in the thing. I can't get it up, but honestly, I'll show you another time.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, sure, mate. Yeah.
How you been, Geese?
I'm all right. All good. All right. So let's talk about you first of all. What is the likely chance?
No, I'm shy. I'm a shy guy. I don't like talking about myself.
Let's talk about you.
Oh.
Because I know obviously it's not as straightforward as like you're out of the isolation period and then you can just kind of go to the show Saturday. It's not straightforward, is it?
The issue is I'm actually talking to the board about it. It's not so much for me, but it's for the fighters, really. We need to evolve with the science, if you like. And so although my CT levels, like I'm non-infectious, right? After 10 days, government guidelines, you can go back to work, right? As long as you don't have any symptoms. I have no symptoms, right? So, but my test, I could test positive for the next 3 months, right? So the Premier League put a rule in place that any player that tests positive is not allowed to retest for 90 days because you will have dead cells in your body and, you know, but you can go back and play after 10 days. You're non-infectious, right? So the issue that we're going to have is, I'll skip this week anyway, but I could test positive till the end of the year, right? But today I spoke to the consultant virologist for the Premier League who confirmed to me with my test and everything, I'm not infectious, right? But the board rule will be, well, we need a negative test, which is ridiculous, really, because you're going to get a fighter that could test positive and can't fight again for 3 months, even though they're no. So we have to follow the Premier League, really. So I'm talking to the board about that. Listen, I might do a test tomorrow and I might be negative, but it's very unlikely that, you know, I would show negative during that period. But
you said this anyway, didn't you? You said this before.
Yeah, we've just got to, you know, look, again, it's just because if I ain't at the show this week, it's no great shakes. I'm thinking of people like Peter Fury, right, who tested positive yesterday. Peter Fury might test positive for the rest of the year. It's just how it may be. But he, after 10 days, and once his CT levels get to a certain point, he's no longer infectious. So he's not a risk. So therefore, he should be allowed to go back to work. Same with the fighters. If the government legislation is, you know, you could be a heart surgeon, right? And you contract COVID. You isolate for 10 days. After 10 days, you can go back into the operating theatre and give surgery to a patient. Yet, if you're a trainer and you go 10 days or so, you can't go back and train a fighter. It's ridiculous. So, but look, we're all learning. The board have done a brilliant job and we've just got to just evolve together, because my worry is for the fighters, we're going to get You know, normally on fight week, we lost Marshall ranking this week, right? Normally on fight week, it's like a 5% chance you might lose a fight, probably less. Now we're getting to the stage where it's like, might be a 50% chance we're going to lose a fight. And sooner or later, we could lose a main event, you know? So it's a right pain in the arse, to be honest with you, because, you know, it's a pain in the arse doing the shows, etc., without a crowd. It's really tough. But it's even tougher when you lose fights. But it's inevitable right now. But, you know, I think sometimes when it gets tough and, you know, you might be feeling a little bit down, that's the moment where you've just got to, you know, roll up the sleeves and go, hell yeah, motherfuckers, and just crack on.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. No, that's right. Just roll them up. Hey, motherfuckers, crack on. Absolutely. Edward, are you scheduled to have a test then, or not? Hold on, you're breaking
this week. Come out positive.
Go on. Sorry. You're breaking up.
Repeat that.
Yeah, I can now.
I had one earlier this week, which came back positive, but my CT levels were just below 40, which means you're not infectious anymore. And all I've got to do is just get over 40. And so that could be tomorrow, it could be the day after, but, you know, it is what it is. I'm more concerned about the system moving forward. Like I've got to reschedule Rankin and Marshall, right? And I want to do that maybe for the Usyk Chisora card. That's 2.5 weeks from when Peter tested positive. Okay, so he's got to go and isolate now for 10 days, and Savannah's got to go and isolate for 2 weeks. So she'll do that. She can train in her house. She can do whatever she's got to do. But when Peter comes back after that isolation period, it's very likely he'll test positive, even though he's no longer infectious, even though under government law, you can return to work. Do you know what I'm saying? So, and even though the Premier League don't allow you to retest for 90 days. Now, there's people, I believe, playing football whose CT levels are like 30 or 35. So, I don't know. Listen, it's not easy. And this is absolutely not, oh, the board's got to do, you know, the board are doing an amazing job. But we've just got to evolve together and keep on learning. And like I say, my worry is a fighter may have tested positive a month ago. They're back in camp, they're training, and then they go for a test in 3 weeks and they test positive, even though they're no longer infectious and they've done their isolation. You dig?
Were you using Usyk Chisora as an example? You're not really going to think about putting Marshall and Rankin on that card?
Absolutely. Why not?
How's that going to work, though? It's like literally just over 2 weeks away.
Because Savannah Marshall is ready to fight, right? She can work, train at home. She can do what she's got to do. She can come out of isolation on the Wednesday of fight week or Tuesday of fight week, whatever it was. She was tested Tuesday, I think. And then she can go on fight week and get tested on Wednesday and she can fight.
What about Peter Fury, though?
Peter Fury's only got 10 days. So Peter Fury is out in 10 days and he's allowed to go back to work. But what I'm saying is you can go back to work if you don't have the symptoms. You can be non-infectious, but he may fail a test. This is the issue with the board. The board have to make a ruling, say that any fighter or trainer that passes a test no longer has to retest for, if it's the same as the Premier League, 90 days. Or if you don't want to do that, make it 30 days. But you're just going to get people who are testing positive and are losing the opportunity to work and to fight who are safe to do so. Do you understand?
So currently, that is not the rule with the board. So if Peter Fury comes into fight week of Usyk Chisora, test positive, what happens then currently now? He'll have to be...
Savannah Marshall can't fight, and it's not fair. It's not right. So that's what the discussions are now with the board. Listen, Peter Fury might test positive till Christmas. It doesn't mean that he's infectious. So you can't deny people, deny people the opportunity to go back to work, or fighters can't fight because of this, you know?
So when are you hoping the board are going to actually, like, rule on this? Because
I think it's not like a big decision for them. I think they'll speak to the virologist and they'll say, yes, we agree, and we'll follow the Premier League.
But that's got to happen like ASAP, surely. Like in the next few days.
I mean, look, I could argue that, I've already got an email from the virologist to say, Eddie, on analysis of your test, you are not infectious. All right. So I could go back to the board and say, I want to come on Saturday. Look, but I'm not. They've got to take their time on this. They've got to do their own due diligence. But ultimately, you can't do more. We've just done it in snooker. We've changed the rule because of the Premier League ruling. Because snooker players were testing positive, going back, isolating under government rules. And when you've done your isolation, if you've got no symptoms, you go back to work. And they're saying, wait a minute, I'm not infectious. I've done my isolation. I need to work. You can't deprive people of being able to go to work if you're following the government guidelines. I mean, how long is this interview going to talk about government guidelines? Have you got nothing else to say?
Who's talking to me?
Yeah, who do you think I'm fucking talking?
You're the fucking one that's waffling on about yourself.
Oh, Eddie, let's talk about you. I don't want to talk about you.
Yeah, but that was meant to be for a couple of minutes. But 10 minutes later, you're still talking.
It's people like you who give me a bad rep because people out there, Eddie Hearn's always talking about himself. What do you think it's like? Yeah, to hear that day in, day out.
All right, mate. What's that? Don't let the bastards get you down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it is, I know.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move away. Let's talk about the show this week. Obviously, we've lost Marshall and Rankin. That'll be rescheduled, so that will happen. Ritson against Vasquez. Let's talk about it.
Great fight. I mean, you saw my old mate, O'Hara Davis. Miguel, I mean, everyone knows Miguel Vasquez beat O'Hara Davis comfortably in that fight. Didn't get the decision. He's a very, very good fighter. I think it's an awkward fight for Lewis Ritson. I think that Lewis Ritson has shown in the past slight vulnerabilities to people who have good movement and good feet. And there's probably very few who have movement and feet like Miguel Vasquez. So I think it's a very tough fight. Also, you've been to Newcastle on numerous occasions. One of the best atmospheres, if not the best atmosphere in boxing. And this experience is very different. He's going to be in the arena there in Peterborough, no crowd. And I think this is going to be a very, very tough fight for Lewis Ritson and a very important fight for his career because I think the fights that are out there for him are huge.
You've added a fight to this, haven't you?
Yeah.
Last minute fight via Tony Bellew.
Yeah. So I don't know if you've seen Tony Bellew's social media in the last week, but he's now working with a number of fighters. So basically what happened was Tony Bellew's a softie, right? Whereas I know he gives it the big one and, tough guy from Liverpool and blah, 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 but he's a softie. You know that, right? So he goes to the gym and he basically meets these young kids who, I don't mean to be rude, but don't have a lot, right? They're trying to crack it in the world of boxing. They're putting everything into it and they're just not getting their breaks, right? One of them is Mishak Spear. I believe he's 3-0, 4-0. And this week he's been posting loads of stuff. I just need these opportunities for him, blah, blah, blah. He calls me fucking non-stop, right? Please give this guy, he'll fight anyone, anytime, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, Tone, I'm trying to get my own fighters out. So, we've already got Tom Hart with him, who's boxing November 14th. Please, this kid, blah, 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 blah. Gives me the sob story. Miss Shakespeare, he's got 5 kids. He just needs an opportunity, blah, 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 blah. So fuck off, Tony. Right? Savannah Marshall, that fight falls through. He's in the bubble yesterday, right? And people think that we contrived this on social media. He's calling me non-stop, right? Ed, please let me put one of my boys on. You've got a space. You always say you haven't got a space. Please. I said, Tone, we haven't got time. The medicals have got to be in. They've got a test first thing tomorrow morning. Like, Meshach Spear, he'll fight anyone. Blah, 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 blah. So I'm like... So I think he's super featherweight, right? Around lightweight. Who on earth would take a 50-50 fight with 2 days' notice? And I just thought, Kane fucking Baker.
Who retired? Semi-retired the other day.
He's retired. Just lost to Akeem Fiaz in a close fight and retired after. But I saw an Instagram from him saying I saw him back in the gym, right? So I messaged Errol Johnson, his manager, and he was like, let me put it to him. And then it was hilarious because it was the negotiations of a world title fight, right? So Errol Johnson goes, he's Kane in the home corner. I'm like, oh my God, don't start all that. Boys, do you want to tear up or not? Like, don't start making it complicated. Well, you know, he boxed against Keith Fiaz and, you know, he was in the away corner. He felt it was a close fight. So I'm like, so I phoned Tony. Tony, can your kid go in the away corner? What? I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, Tony. Anyway, he walks second. He'll go in the home corner. It's a fucking 6-rounder, right? So he's on a win bonus. They're both on win bonuses because they wanted more money and blah, blah, give me a win bonus. So they're both taking like good purses plus win bonuses as well. It's on. So Tony's kid, Meshach Spear, who I have no idea is any good. I know he can fight and he's all action, right? Fights Kane Baker. I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen, but it's going to be a lot of fun. And you know what? I think it's great. I think it's great that right now in this kind of environment, with 2 or 3 days to go, we can turn around and we can make someone's career, make someone's year with an opportunity. And you know what I say? Go and fucking take that opportunity. Because the door of opportunity is always closed until you bang it the fuck down. And I'm sick and tired of seeing people moaning, oh, he's getting opportunities all the time. Yeah, you know why? Because he's pesting me, or he's pushing me, or he's a character, he's a personality, or he's a good fighter that can't get an opportunity. Don't worry about other people getting opportunities. Carve one out for yourself, right? Oh, Tony Bellew's got his like one of his, yeah. So what? Tony Bellew's bugged me so bad that he's got a kid on from Liverpool who probably right now is struggling, right? And he's got an opportunity to box live on TV on Saturday night and change his life. Kane Baker, same thing. He was retired 3 days ago or 4 days ago, right? Get back in for a payday. Win this fight. The winner of this fight stays on. Winner stays on the shows. So let's not just be so petty, like, oh God, oh, it's a 6th rounder. Oh my God, he doesn't deserve the opportunity. Fuck off. Let's see a tear up. Yeah?
Okay. Pro debut, finally, of Ellie Scotney this weekend.
Yeah. Well, you've missed quite a lot out, so I'll recap that for you because obviously your preparation skills in interviewing is absolutely diabolical.
What are you talking about? I've missed what out?
Lots of fights. You know, finally. You've done 3
No,
fights.
I meant finally she's making her debut, you fucking moron. I didn't mean finally as in like the last week. I meant finally she gets to make her debut.
To be fair, I get it now. I take it back. You absolute fucking prick. Excuse me. My language hasn't been good in this interview.
Oh, I love it. Go on, we love a swear one. Go on, Ed.
So, yes, finally, Ellie Scotney will be making her pro debut.
Yes.
I really believe, right, and let's get this sorted. Hopefully she don't lose on Saturday. I believe this young lady will be world champion within 8 fights. I think she's super, super special. And you know what? What a character. What a character. She cracks me up. You know, she was working in B&Q over lockdown. No, she's handed her notice because now she's getting her money. I've got her a sponsorship as well. Shout out to Daffabet. And she's binned off B&Q. I really, really like her. Honestly, I think she's a great character, great personality. She can really fight, really fight. And she's from South London, so she's got to be able to fight. Right? So this is the, you know, the debut of a very special fighter.
Finally.
Ward
and Asomba. It's an interesting little fight, isn't it?
We actually had a fight for Thomas Patrick Ward. I think it was Israel Garcia, ranked fight. It was a good fight. And he got COVID. Yeah. So COVID just, no Vaseline again from our friend at COVID-19. And Thomas Asomba stepped up. Errol Johnson again, you know, big opportunity for him. Great little payday. He actually took the fight because he believes he can beat Martin Ward because they've sparred many rounds together. And Asomba always gives everybody a good fight. Doesn't stop trying. And look, Ward's on the verge of a world title fight now. So I'm interested to watch him live. He's a very talented fighter. And I believe he could win a world title.
The very charismatic Joseph Laws is in action. Some of these sweets, mate.
I know. Did you see the one today when he was having a pony and he was going on about the toilet roll? He's just completely on another planet. But anyway, this is a 50-50 fight. This is a 50-50 fight. And I think this is going to be an absolute war. An absolute war. Ryland Charlton, good fighter, been down sparring with Conor Benn and all the boys at the Matchroom gym. Conor says he's very strong, can punch a bit as well. This is a complete 50-50 fight. And good luck to both. I love Joe Laws. I think he's a great character. You know Joe Laws, right? I know he's, you know, a bit of a clown and blah, 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 but he works his nuts off, mate. He lives and breathes boxing.
Have you froze? You have. You froze.
Ah, not really. You know what someone spotted as well? When I start laughing, sometimes I close one eye.
Hello. I hadn't noticed that before.
That's good, that one, isn't it? You like that? Look.
Have I missed anything out?
No, but I think...
No, you've done it now, you knob. It's been done. It's been done now, Ed.
Oh. Yeah.
We can talk about Kes Ashfaq, though.
That is a great fight. Great fight. Little bit of interesting dynamics about this fight. Final eliminator for the British Super Bantamweight title. Kes Ashfaq against Mark Leach. Kes Ashfaq, formerly with Kelvin Travis, Nigel Travis's dad, right, for a long time, throughout his whole pro career. Switched camps to Angel Fernandez, part of the AJ team. Mark Leach's corner, Nigel Travis and Jamie Moore. Very interesting. A lot of people believe Mark Leach very live in this fight. Could be a little bit cagey early on. They've sparred many rounds. Both good movers, but a very good fight. Very intriguing fight and a very important fight for both of them.
And that completes your bill, correct? Why are you doing it again?
Sorry, it's got in my head now. That completes the bill. 7 p.m. Sky Sports, the Zone in the US. Good card. I mean, look, gutted to lose Marshall Rankin. I mean, it's such a brilliant fight. But it is what it is. I think you're still going to get a lot of entertainment.
We'll look forward to it. Tune in, even if Hearn isn't going to be there.
Might be. Might make a little appearance. Do you know what I mean, Geether? 2 weeks today is the launch of my book. Listen, we are so close. Listen, we are so close, Coog, to getting in the top 50 Sunday Times bestsellers. Like, we've had a great pre-sale. We've sold out the signed copies. Mate, listen. If you haven't bought my book, Relentless, let's get it. Let's get it. It's really, you know me. I very rarely will I blow my own trumpet. This is a really good book.
We're really looking forward to that. 2 weeks today. Can't wait. Really can't wait, mate. Wilder Fury.
What's going on there?
What is going on?
What is going on there, right? I mean, right, let's just... So, either Deontay Wilder has just vanished from the earth and just don't fancy fighting anymore, or his advisors have done the worst contract in boxing history. I mean, this is just expired, right? We're in a global pandemic. I mean, how can you... I don't know. So are you telling me that you've done a contract that doesn't protect yourself against a force majeure? and you no longer have a rematch clause, it's just expired. I don't believe that Shelley Finkel and the team would have done that. But then Aram and these guys are just goading them, saying, bye, it's expired. And Shelley's coming out going, oh no, I hope we can do the fight. Where are you coming out and protect your rights? Say, no, you signed for a rematch. Here's the contract. We're having it. It's not. It's like, oh, well, we'd still take it. But where's Deontay Wilder? I mean, let me tell you something now. When Anthony Joshua lost to Andy Ruiz, there was not one day that went past that he did not think about avenging that defeat. When Dillian Whyte got knocked out, and I know he was only down for 8 seconds, right, to Alexander Povetkin, as soon as he got out of the ring, you saw him. I want that fight. All he's thought about since then is winning that rematch. So what on earth has happened to Deontay Wilder? Are you telling me you don't want to avenge this defeat? Are you telling me you don't want to be king again? You don't want to be champ? You're going to go out like that? And by the way, if he is, no problem. No problem. This is a tough, brutal sport. You make your money and you want to get out, good luck to you. But some people are made of different stuff, right? And the people that I know, AJ, Dillian Whyte, these people who suffer defeats, they want to come back, and they won't rest till they get revenge, or at least attempt revenge. I just can't understand. I don't know. And what's with the silence? You froze.
Ed, since February, we've spoken about it loads, but about him, Wilder being quiet, not a lot coming back, but all kind of fingers have pointed towards what's actually happening now, like it not happening.
Listen, if you don't want to fight again, or you don't want to fight, you don't want to try and win your belt back, each to their own. But what? I've got to say, right, the best thing that happened for AJ was Tyson Fury winning. Because I believe that in that team, Tyson Fury, MTK, Top Rank, Warren, John Fury, whoever else is in that team as well, they all want to fight AJ, right? They all believe they can beat AJ. The other mob, they never wanted it. And I can see it now. And it's only like, it was so frustrating at the period where they wouldn't even have a conversation about fighting Anthony Joshua, right? But this just goes to show me, like, and I believe that, even if Wilder would have won, I don't even know if he would have got the AJ fight made. But I know we'll get the Fury fight made. Because different characters did, but I just don't understand. How can you have a contract that's just evaporate? How can you let a contract expire and evaporate? Do you know how much pressure I was under when AJ lost to enforce that contract against Andy Ruiz? You can read all about it in my book, Relentless, which launches on October 29th. There's a big chapter on it.
Cheers, mate.
I didn't sleep for weeks because they tried to get out of that rematch, right? And I would not accept it. I fought tooth and nail to make sure that AJ, because I wouldn't let him down. And he wanted that fight more than anything. And if he would have turned around and I would have said to him, the only way we can do that fight is if you fight for nothing, he would have done the fight. So I know people say, yeah, but there's no gate. So, mate, all right, so there's no gate. Do you want a rematch? Do you want to win your belt back? Or do you want to let it expire and never fight again? Never fight him again. He can't be taken seriously again if he comes back and has a 10-rounder. You lost your throne. Do you not want to fight for it anymore? But again, maybe he goes into the wilderness. But I like to think that I'm a good lateral thinker. I know exactly what's going on, but none of this makes sense. But we worry about our own business. I'm just fascinated to see that play out. I'm just waiting for a statement saying, we have a contract, we're enforcing our contract, and that fight is next. And Wilder comes out and goes, right, I'm fighting Fury. I want my belts back. I want this. But I don't know. Strange.
What do you think, if you were a betting man, which I know you kind of are, what do you think Wilder will do?
Well, if he's not, you know, if Fury no longer has a contractual right to fight him, he's going to have to fight a warm-up fight or fight someone. I don't know. He may not fight again. You know, if your heart's not in it and you've made the money he's made over the last couple of fights, I wouldn't hold it against him, would you? I mean, look, it's a tough sport. Maybe you don't want to be a fighter. Maybe it's not, you know, maybe he's lost the love for it, and that can happen. But I just can't make it out because I didn't think, I don't know.
But his name
If that happens to you, you knowing fighters like you do, right? He lost. And by the way, you know, the defeats in terms of AJ against Ruiz and Wilder against Fury were quite similar, right? I think you could argue they were humiliating, right? Especially AJ, because everybody thought he was going to win, you know, and in front of sold-out Madison Square Garden, it all come crumbling down. But do you know any fight, is there any fighter that you know that from that defeat really, you know, and I'm not saying AJ and Dillian are special individuals, they're just fighters. Do you know any fighter, Coop, that wouldn't have just been thinking every day about revenge and getting that rematch?
Yeah, but we don't know that he hasn't thought that.
But they're not exactly showing, like, trying to fight for it, are they? I mean, we haven't even heard from him. And they've let the contract expire, if that is the case.
Yeah, that's the bizarre part, letting that expire.
But listen, ultimately, I'm talking as a fan now. It's none of my business. You know, and Hearn's got a lot to say about Wilder. I'm just interested, like, to have a chat with you. Like, I mean, I can't say it's like having a chat with your mate in a pub, because I wouldn't go to a pub with you. But, you know, you get what I mean.
No, why wouldn't you go to a pub with me?
Well, because I think you're a prick.
And?
Oh,
so
mate, what was that? What's that? Why have you just rolled up your sleeves seductively?
Ed, have you taken a fucking some sort of pill or something?
Not that kind of Zoom, mate.
So yeah. Anyway, coming on to Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury will, by the looks of it, return to the UK for the first time in quite some time. He'll fight in December, by the looks of it.
Maybe.
What?
I'm not so sure.
Why?
I don't know. I just think, I don't know. I think it's a, you know, I don't know the situation, but I don't know.
I'm only going from what Warren and Aram and Fury are saying.
They've got to get the money together. I don't know. I don't know. And who are you going to fight?
What about the names that he's been linked with, the Caballos, the...
Well, Caballo's not going to do any business. But listen, if he fights Michael Hunter or
Hunter.
Rivas is a good fight. Who was the other one I was thinking about?
Was Charles Martin's name mentioned in there somewhere?
Charles Martin's all right. I mean, yeah, Charles Martin. Hunter. I think I'd love to see Hunter get an opportunity. You know that when we were doing the AJ fight, it was between Hunter and Ruiz, and AJ approved both, and we chose Ruiz. It's a good choice. So yeah, I just can't see him. And listen, he's just beaten Deontay Wilder, so he don't have to have a war. You know what I mean? He can have a little fiddle around if he wants. Just don't get beat, because we got off beat Pulev, and then it's on.
So you don't think it's necessarily a done thing then that he's going to be fighting in the UK this year then?
I'm sure that's the plan, but I just, I don't know, it's not my business, but I just know the conversation comes of, where's the money coming from? And if you don't fight anyone of note, how do you generate the money? But maybe he just wants to run out. Maybe he's not bothered about money. I don't know. It's just difficult at the moment. There's no gate.
I mean, if you were him, would you just sit it out and wait for the thingy fight, the AJ fight?
It depends. If he wants to stay active and he wants to fight, I'd fight. But he may only want to fight for a certain amount of money, and that's going to be very difficult. But I don't know. It's not my business. I mean, it maybe he just wants to warm up for AJ.
Have you rescheduled your date with Frank Warren?
Not yet. No, I will do though. We'll get that in the diary.
Okay. Has there been any conversations with Team Warren or Frank or anyone? No. Okay. It's such a dick. You've not spoken to none of them, no?
No.
Okay. So you've got... Come on, let's do a little run through your shows coming up.
Okay, so this Saturday, Lewis Ritson against Miguel Vasquez, Kez Ashfaq against Mark Leach, Ellie Scotney, Thomas Patrick Ward, Joe Laws, etc., etc. Then we go to next Friday, massive World Championship triple header in Mexico. We have Quadras against Estrada. We have Chocolatito against Gonzalez. We have Julio Cesar Martinez. Then the big one, Usyk against Chisora, October 31st, Halloween special. Then we go November the 7th, Devin Haney making his World Championship defence after a year out of the ring against Gamboa. Then we go November the 14th, World Championship triple header, Katie Taylor, Bridges against Ball, Harper against Sanders. Then we go to the 21st, Whyte Povetkin 2. Then we go to the 27th, Jacobs Rosado, Demetrius Andrade will be on that card as well, be announced shortly. Then we go to November 28th. No, we don't. Oh, 28th or the 5th is going to be Billy Joe Saunders, basically. And then we go December 12th, probably AJ against Pulev.
Just coming back to that Billy Joe Saunders date. So you won't do a show on the 28th and the 5th. It'll be either or. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. I might do one on the 19th, but it'll be either or, 5th or 12th. Sorry, 28th or 5th. I had a call from a week or so ago. Yeah, so I spoke, George Warren called me and just said, do you mind not going on the 28th, basically? Because we're going to go with Dubois Joyce. And I said, yeah, okay, we can look at that. So we'll go on the 5th. But now, if that is Fury, I don't know, maybe we'll stay on the 5th or 28th. We've got to go one of those Saturdays, basically. So it is what it is.
And Billy Joe Saunders, opponent-wise, is still the same as what you spoke about before.
Yeah, I believe it'll be a Brit. And we'll see what happens.
Okay. So Martin Murray, Rocky Fielding, one of these guys?
Zach Parker, Zach Parker's going to be mandatory next year anyway. So that's something we can look at potentially. But yeah, I'd like it to be a Brit.
Okay. What about John Ryder and David Lemieux?
Still talking. Also made an offer to Chudinov. Both of those fights will be sanctioned as a final eliminator if we get them. So, like to see, Ryder will definitely fight this year. But the WBA have told me that he's in a final eliminator next.
Callum Smith?
Callum Smith, again, see if Canelo boxes in December. That could be resolved with the zone. We'll see what happens there. And also, Canelo, in my opinion, won't be fighting Yildirim. And if that's the case, Callum Smith should be fighting Yildirim next for the WBC and WBA.
Obviously, 5th of December is also Luke Campbell.
Yes, against Ryan Garcia. Great fight.
Ryan Garcia. What about Josh Warrington and Kanzu?
Josh Warrington could be on that December date as well. The fight with Kanzu, it was agreed before the pandemic. We're trying to get it over the line. Very, very difficult without crowds, but trying to find a way, trying to put a model together that means that fight can happen.
What did you make of Aj-Pulev's comment on Joshua? I mean, I read it on Sky Sports, but it was kind of being pushed as an actual story. Is it a story or not? About him saying that he's got a better tan than me.
Yeah, I mean, I said it to AJ actually. I was like, I don't think it was the wisest thing to say, but I don't think it was intentionally racist or anything like that. But, if we said in the fight, then maybe it was.
Okay.
It was a joke, by the way, but you didn't really get it.
I know, Edward, but thought I'd ask it. It was just billed as a story. The board ordered some fights.
Mm-hmm.
So Riakpor's vacated.
Correct.
Okay, so the board have approved Juma and Billam Smith
for the British and Commonwealth title. That lands on November the 21st on the Whyte Povetkin card. Great fight. And Chris Jenkins is now going to fight Esso Eckerman because Conor Benn has taken, obviously we'll talk about that, but the Sebastian Formella fight. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know what else we could have done to make that fight. We made Chris Jenkins 6 offers. Him and his team were desperate to take the fight. I do feel for them, but they weren't allowed to. So we got to a stage, and I wrote to Queensberry and his manager, and I said, look, we're taking another fight. We've got this opportunity, but we'd like to do the British title. Here's our improved and final offer, or we're going to pull out. And they still didn't take it. So let him fight Echo Eskerman. You know what I mean? And Ben's got a much, much, much bigger fight, a much tougher fight. I think, I have to take my hat off to Conor Benn, because this is a tough, tough fight. I mean, you just saw Formella go 12 rounds with Porter. I know he got beat comfortably, but he did not stop trying. He did not stop throwing punches. He's a very, very good fighter, and this is a massive step up for Conor Benn.
And that lands on November 21st, as you said.
Another great fight on that card.
Liam Williams and Andrade. What's the deal there?
So Liam Williams chose to have an interim fight. So Demetrius will have one as well in November, probably at catch weight. And then after that, the WBO will order negotiations to start for that fight. And you'll see that fight, I believe, in the first quarter of 2021. Good fight. I think, I think it's hard. You had 2 fights there that were horrific mismatches. Those 2 main events of Josh Taylor and Andrew Robinson, and it's not anyone's fault, but I just think people have got to look at these mandatories, and it's not doing the sport any favours. No disrespect to Andrew Robinson or Consong, but it's just it's a world-class fighter fighting a domestic British title challenger, and Williams is ready for the challenge. I think Williams I think he's got plenty of arsehole. I think him against Demetrius is a good fight. I think it's a great fight. We'll try and do that in Providence. Did you come to the Selecki fight in Providence?
Who was in the undercard?
Cowyer fight?
No.
Great crowd. They had like 8,000 or 9,000 in. Great atmosphere. And I think Williams and Andrade can have a bit of spite. So yeah, I'm all up for that.
What's what are you delaying Aj-Pulev announcement for?
Nothing really, just finalising the contract. Not signed yet, so you'll get a announcement soon.
Still taking place in the UK, probably.
Plan.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
Why are you being coy over that?
Being coy. That fight's happening, and you'll get an announcement soon. Chill the fuck out.
It's not going to end up in like a random part of the world. It's such a dick.
Right, can I go?
No, you can't.
I want to go home.
Edward, come on. Lopez and Lomachenko this week. I know you're not showing the fight.
Apparently I was the only person that could show the fight, but yeah, great fight. Lopez has done some brilliant talking.
What's your tip for it though, Edward?
My tip is that Vasily Lomachenko will win every round.
Really? That cutthroat?
Yeah.
Every round?
I believe so.
Okay. Okay. Was there something else I had to say to you? Do you want to talk about your book again?
Oh, I've got a book coming out 2 weeks today. If you haven't pre-ordered it now. No, I'm all good, mate. Tune in on Saturday night.
How's your old man before we go?
Yeah, it was a bit rough, to be fair. It's like very fluey. But last few days, much better. And, a couple more days, he'll be back in. If I don't go to the show on Saturday, I'll be around there watching it with him. He'll be back at work on Monday.
Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free, impartial advice on all your debt.